Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Masterpiece Theater. I am your host tonight, the Horace Towns. Tonight, we're going to be on 75% capacity as far as attendance, but you're going to get 100% of the best show on the planet. I'm joined by two of my best friends, and I'm going to go first to the man who he designed, the Black Super Friends logo. He designed some of the clothing apparel. Now he's, marketing a Black Super Friends cup. I don't know how I missed that. That's kind of genius. I got to give it to you, and it's very affordable. I'm gonna introduce the man that you would know tonight as the Chris Leo.
Yes, yes. Thank you guys for showing up each and every Monday. Those that do, those that don't, and watch us on the replay. I appreciate you, man. Without you, we wouldn't be any us. Thank you.
Without them, there would be no Slim. Okay, hey. Next, I'm going to the man who always provides some wisdom. That's what they say. And then the man that also will create some chaos because he's always going to disagree. He loves a good debate, and I don't shy away from it. Tonight, you will know him as the great debater, Super Mario Sr.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm in mourning, man. We took a nasty defeat yesterday, man. But I'm used to it now because the quarterback we got, I done enough. I can no longer hold him as the leader of our team. I'm just waiting till he go now.
Come on, Cooper Rush. It's the Cooper Rush time.
Oh no, he trash too. It's just that Cooper Rush, he just not better than that. We just got we got two backups.
I like Cooper. Dak is back, so the losing's on track. Go Cowboys! All right. Hey, I absolutely did because I got Sunday morning. I got to wake up and open my eyes like I'm coming to America and look over and say, "Oh, it is football." I just thought it was so amazing to wake up at 9:30 in the morning and to see Tom Brady on my screen playing football. It wasn't the best game of the Sunday because that Bills and Vikings game, Jefferson, boy, that boy is ridiculous. That boy caught passes like he was on a video game, all Madden. Man, that was a good game. So I appreciated seeing Tom Brady get the win. Sorry, Giselle, we back on track. And shout out to Jefferson for the Vikings for that magnificent game that they had yesterday. Yeah.
The power of divorce. Look at Tom Brady, 2-0 since he's been divorced.
You ain't like my reel?
You better hope it stay because she just went to wherever she went with her jiu-jitsu person.
Listen, don't bring your negativity on here, Mario. Your team lost. And you knock it off, man.
Hey, listen, my team lost, and the team right now for the lose, and the bottom of our division is the same record as the top of your division.
Hey man, listen, we 5-5. We the top of the division, so
that's crazy.
Life is pretty good. So
hey, he gonna make it though. That's right. The whole time, as long as he
I got some hate mail for my reel, but I thought it was pretty creative. All right,
no, that's a way off that though.
Yeah, for sure. Let me add the target one. We'll deduct this check.
Hey, he did show up, my brother.
I don't know why my boy won't get past his 8-megapixel camera, but we're going to work on it. Hey, man. Oh, yeah. Hey, for everybody in TV land, we have Zeta International's latest man. He's late, but he's on time.
Dolphins, baby. 7-3. Dolphins, baby. 7-3. And we on top. Fashionably late. How y'all doing?
You don't respect what we do, Xavier. Because you don't respect what we do. You know what I'm saying? I talked to HR many times about this occurrence, but I will move on tonight. All right.
It's just you.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Did you see? Are y'all going to see Black Panther? Please do not say nothing that spoils the movie. Please don't do it. I'm gonna go to the man that's froze so I can hear him.
He's just giggling.
He's just cheesing like on the dating show. Remember the dating show? When they retaliate the people.
Man, you know
Did you go see later the Black Panther Day?
There you go again, Elsa frozen.
Okay, Mario, did you go see Black Panther? Mario, oh, you're a professional, Mario.
I did, and I thought it was real good. I thought I seen the Woman King on my free Amazon stick, and I was disappointed, not into the hoopla, like the undertone of the movie and all that, just on the surface level, it just wasn't a good movie like that.
Which movie?
Woman King. So then I was a little abrasive of like, man, should I go see Black Panther, because the Woman King was kind of like disappointing to me, just like on the theatrical part, like on just if I like Marvel, like, you know what I'm saying, like just take the undertone out. Do you like Marvel movies? The Woman King wasn't, it ain't really do it for me, like, you know what I'm saying. But then when I seen Black Panther, it has, I understand what y'all gonna want to talk about, and all of that may be true to some sort, but the movie is actually good itself. Like the actual movie itself is good. Now I got a lot of different storylines and the agendas that they pushing, and you can go so many ways, because if you read into it, it's a lot of deepness in the movie. But the movie is still actually good, and I give it credit because he gave a great farewell, and he set it up for many more Black Panthers to come if he wanted to. So that's my reviews.
Turn your mic on.
Oh, Chris Leo.
Thank you, Jarrell. Jarrell, we might need you to come on the show a little later on. I got a question.
He's shy.
We need you. I might need you.
Yeah. You didn't watch the movie, Chris?
I didn't watch the movie. I'm boycotting. Let me stop playing. I don't know, man. Like, I'm skittish on this movie, man. Like, I've been disappointed with the MCU. I call it the MCU. They've been replacing all these male characters with female characters. Thor: Love and Thunder was about Lady Thor. She-Hulk movie, I watched it with my daughter, and every episode they're talking about men. They making us look terrible, like we either play bumbling idiots or we play evil, conniving men. So I've been kind of disappointed with the MCU, and I do not doubt that Ryan Coogler is going to be able to put together a masterpiece, because the first one was a masterpiece. So I don't doubt that. Just like what Hardy was alluding to, the undertones of it. The greatest fictional African nation is now led by women. They couldn't find one man to do the job, to lead. M'Baku just wasn't available or anything like that. Or like, imagine if, I'm gonna just put y'all in the thing. Y'all got a kingdom, right? You lose your king. You got to replace your king. Tell me which one of you guys would go to the IT guy and make him the king. That's what they did. They took the IT girl and made her the king. Look what Charla had to go through Charla had to go through to get a king. He had to fight, beat Killmonger. Yeah, she's just the queen. I personally, I don't know, man. I'm struggling. I'm really, really, really struggling with this, because I'm tired of seeing strong Black female characters. I would like just because I'm hearing women saying that they don't want to be that anymore. They don't want to be labeled that anymore. So I don't know why Hollywood portrays that and push that on them. I want to see softer, more loving female characters, because it's a group of men out here that want to love softer, less stern, less tough women. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I probably still go see it if my daughter want to see it, but I'm on pause right now.
Yeah, I think honestly, the best thing about it is everything we're saying is kind of coming to fruition. Like we've been saying is, oh, y'all just tripping, and then stuff keeps coming to fruition. So when I was talking about the Woman King, and I kept highlighting like, just Google the whole real history behind that. Oh, just watch the movie. Y'all can't just watch a movie and enjoy it. I'm like, but okay, it is what it is. Zay, did you watch the movie? I'm gonna try you again.
I did not. I did not get a chance to watch the movie as of yet. But it's in my to-do list of things that I'm gonna do. So
yeah,
I'll do that. I don't know, Chris, but I don't think she just became the ruler. You know, she still has that royal lineage in her bloodline, bro. So I think that's kind of how that happened. But I hear what you're saying.
So if you have a kingdom now, right? You took your smartest person on your village and your queen, and if she dies, you lose both of them at the same time. I don't think that's a player move.
You know, England. That's the way the Queen of England became the queen, right? That because
she never had to fight. She never had to fight.
Who?
She didn't have to fight anybody.
Right.
I'm telling you. She has the blood, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Nope. The Queen of England didn't have to fight nobody. Her husband died. The matriarch, the man died. She was the highest ranking official left, and that's what happened. Like exactly what happened in this movie is exactly what happened in England for the Queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only difference is she have to defend it by fighting, which I think would probably be better. Combat is better for men, I think.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not.
That's not.
I'm talking about the way she became the queen. No. Like the way she became the queen is just the men in her family died. There was no more men in her family, so you was the next in line.
Hey, listen.
Like we're not. Imagine a 4-man set it off movie. Imagine Disney princesses replaced by little boys. I think you can't hijack something that's been directed to a target fan base forever and then hijack it with female characters. It would be the same thing if you took Cinderella and Snow White and made them about boys. If you took the movie, set it off and made it about a all-man cast, or Waiting to Exhale, you made it about man. Like, no, these are separate stories. I don't know why they hijacking it.
All right, listen. Well, I must say, time goes on, and I must introduce something, man. The election is over. The midterms. Listen, some people say they won. Some people felt like it didn't go as they thought it was going to go. Overall, I must say that the next morning, I want to shout out my dog, Teslin, who got on major networks and called it out because the media is so powerful. They throw a storyline out there and people just retweet it and it becomes water cooler talk and people start having this conversation without having the data that Mario says he always likes. And before I know it, that next day, it was a trending story. Oh, black men didn't support Stacey Abrams. You know what I mean? Which was interesting. But Tesla got on and gave the real stats. Like, hey, whether you like it or not, here go the stats. Second of all, I always find it amazing that, and I would say this, when it comes to Malcolm X said it, Farrakhan said it, the message is the message. Most of the people that they allow us to see out on national TV called me out on it. Them the people you want speaking for y'all. That's the last people I want speaking for me. On most networks, the people that they be having out and they get, you see them in constant rotation. You be like, nah, they don't speak for me. They don't speak for me. And me and Roland Martin used to be cool, but you know, we've had discussion when I can't have a conversation man to man, like, hey, bro, I think you wrong. Like you that to the left or you that far to the right. Hey, man, I think it ain't nothing wrong with self-preservation and us actually having black agendas. So I said all that to say, I did not like that the mainstream media threw out a story and black people supported that BS until it got straightened by Tesla Fugaro, who said, nah, it ain't black men. I put the numbers out there on the Black Super Friends page. Start understanding the science behind elections. Understand when you see red, what that means and what blue means, and then the districts. So I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm going to go to Mario first because I know Chris is going to blow it up. What you thought about that? Us being blamed for the elections, Mario. Professional Mario. Super Mario.
Can you hear us?
Mario. There you go.
Yeah, I went off. What did you say?
What do you think about them blaming black men for the midterms?
I think it. I'm getting a little. Should I say about this whole black man woman thing? I think really it's starting to begin like in my life. I don't care. It's not like with voting. I don't care. But who become the mayor? I don't care. It's gonna sound like good, but I'm saying like my life ain't changed. I'm saying I went through a restriction. I went through I went through Trump. I went through like, bro. At the end of the day, it's gonna be that way because I always give a look at life and I say, dang, like, why is this like this? Like, genuinely, like, why is this like this? Like, why do every time it seems like black man is under attack? And I said, it's because for one, I go, how do I play a part in this? And I say, for one, black men, if we knew how to do one thing, is just stick together. Like, just stick together. If we could just stick together, then no group, none, black women, Chinese, Spanish, nobody, because we have to be able to do that for just a little bit. I'm talking about it don't have to be a majority. I don't want a majority. I gave Zay a example the other day. I said, bro, I know like 5 AC people who stay within 5 miles from each other, who don't work together. So we can call all the other stuff out, but I'm saying like, then if we did that, then we can buy our own radio station and then buy our own thing and then say, I don't care. We're not going to run that story. Because Tootie alluded to the other day, the people who own the radio station get to run the story they want to run. So as long as they have an agenda, then they're going to run what they want to run. So we can sit there and be like, this is ridiculous. Look how they're doing us black men. This is that. This is that. So what are we going to do about it, bro? Like, so I feel you. I know it's a travesty. What I'm pretty sure all you guys are going to say is the exact truth. We have been done wrong. We was labeled wrong. Me and Horace went back and forth about this. I seen the facts. It was a bold-faced lie. Black men voted in grave numbers for her. Like, it's like ridiculously a lie. It's like so far, it's like shamefully a lie. But you can't stop it from running. So what you gonna do? That's all I got. You know what I'm saying? It's beginning to be like, oh, okay. But we always gonna be up under the stick until we just say, bro, I don't care what people think about us. I don't care what people say about us. This is where we stand. Put your foot in the stand, and that's what it is. But we ain't gonna do that, and I don't see it happening no time soon. So,
Xavier, latest man.
Yeah, I think Mario hit the nail on the top of the head. As men, we got to just get to the top of the food chain like we're supposed to be, rightfully. I mean, if we were doing what we needed to do, I feel like, and running for that position, you don't have that problem. It wouldn't matter what she said; she would have just lost. It is what it is. But again, it don't amount to a hill of beans because when they get in the seat and the chair, the same way how they're gonna blame us for losing, they don't do anything for us, and rightfully so, because we should be doing something for ourselves. So I'm have to agree. Stick together. Stop worrying about the naysayers and worry about the ones that's saying the right thing, and that's your people. That's what's gonna get you.
Let me say something. I go to Chris. You know why the system never puts their neck on black women? They put it all on black men because they know when black women excel, some black women don't give a f about the same black men. So I said that. So when Stacey ran, Stacey pushed a lot of agendas. What agendas did it resonated with me as a black man? I'm not in Georgia, but what resonated with me as a black man? So black men still voted 86% for you. And believe it or not, it was more, I think 86% to black women. That was 83%. So I have a problem with that. You saying that black men failed her. Shit, they actually supported her when they didn't have any return on investment like Chris Leo usually indicates. So, Chris Leo, it's all yours.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm a registered Democrat. I've been a Democrat my whole life. Everybody told me I grew up everybody telling me to vote Democrat. So I've been Democrat. Every time I've ever voted, I went in that booth down the middle, Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. This year, this election, I should say, is the only election that I feel like my party, my Democratic Party, did not invite me personally to the party. I'm gonna speak personally for myself. Some of the agendas that my Democratic Party was pushing this year was women's rights. Now, I'm not saying that women's rights isn't important. I'm just saying they're not as important to me. A couple of months ago, when Roe versus Wade came out, a lot of the women told me I need to shut up. I need to mind my business. That mean, since I wasn't a woman, I couldn't be involved in this conversation. So you can't tell me that a couple of months ago and then expect me to go run to the polls in support of that because I was told to stay out of that. I was told to shut up. So that's what I'm gonna do on that one. The Democratic Party is also running on the LGBTQ community agenda. Now, I'm not saying that's not important. I'm just saying it's not as important to me. I'm a person that do not want biological men in the bathroom with my daughter. I'm a man that does not want biological men in sports with my daughter. I just don't. And I also want a man that don't want to be forced to call someone that I know is a biological man a woman when it's not true. And I do not want them to be able to change their birth certificate because out of fear of for me and other men, especially as single men, we could date a woman. If she's able to change her birth certificate, she could legally tell me she's a woman and be truthful. And then when she gets mad, she can expose me. Like we seen the story in Miami a couple of months ago, or maybe like a month ago, when a trans woman got upset and exposed men who I'm pretty sure didn't think she was under the impression that she was a woman. This could possibly happen. So that's not something that I agree with. I also don't stand with Ukraine. I don't know why we're spending that much money in that war. Like I said on the show before, Ukrainians used to be Nazis. So I really don't understand what we're doing on that tip. And the amount of money that we're spending, I think, could be used a different way. Now, with all that being said, I think that the Democratic Party could have had me, and they did have me when the student loans things, because it directly affects me. To that $20,000, me being $16,000 in student loan debt would have truly helped me, and I would have that was going to get me to the polls and go straight down like I used to be doing, straight Democrat. But they couldn't get that done. You know why? Because the Republicans blocked it. So it don't make no sense to vote for them. So I had to stay out of this election. I didn't see anything tangible for me. And it just, to me, I feel like now my vote, just like my heart, has a price, and you must pay it, and it's going to be a high price. Just how I feel.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, even though black men voted 86%, the target is always in any agenda the black woman. You know why? Someone said earlier on the show that is a label that black women are mega consumers. Which, hey, you want to debate that? Who gonna spend? Even in a two-parent household, the consumer, the person that is gonna spend, is the black woman. So for me, you know where I stand. At the end of the day, I'll support. My blackness has some conservative, but I really push black agendas. Me and Mario had a conversation last week. We were talking about Herschel Walker, where I said he is a complete fucking idiot. But if you understand politics, guess what? Yeah, they're going to push him in because they got somebody who's going to do whatever they tell him to do. You know what I'm saying? So people, why they got him on there? Because you got somebody who's going to do whatever they tell him to do. So when you're trying to push me to go out and push a Stacey Abrams, at what time did she say one message to black men? One time did she have a message for black men? So people can't make me feel bad about, as a black man, doing what's in my best interest for me. No, I'm not gay, so no, I'm not on the front line fighting for LGBT rights. I don't have student loans, which I think is a fucking story anyway. I think that is all just a farce. So we put it out there knowing they ain't gonna never go anywhere. So they play political games with the people. And then us people, black people, we're emotional. We respond to stuff without even knowing the gist of it. We'll read a headline and push some stuff. But hell, even with the Black Panther movie, I say stuff that make you mad. Disney is one of the biggest LGBT whatever community pushers in the world. All that stuff is wicked. So when you look at a Black Panther movie, it pushes a narrative of again, black man, boom. Oh, powerful black women, boom. Same agenda, bro. Even from cartoons to reality shows. Black man, you don't need him, girl. You're gonna be better. He's worthless. He's done you wrong. You better by yourself. That's my editorial.
Hmm. I'm hoping that in the next election, which is the presidential election, that that party understands that the black male community is up for grabs, but we need something in return.
Yeah. All right. Well, we get to the meat and potatoes real fast tonight. I don't know where I'm getting feedback from. But Chris, you had a question about something I did this week.
Yeah, I don't know if do you have the vlog up?
No, I didn't post it, man.
All right. Here's the thing, man. Everybody that knows me, I don't know much about the Bible. I don't know much. I'm not a very religious guy. But when people would used to say to me, and this is an honest question, people used to say that God blesses you, and they say what God thinking and what God knows and what makes God smile and what God make God happy or sad. I think that I always felt like it was egotistical because I find it hard for the creation to know what the inner thoughts of the creator. I always found that almost prideful for humans to think that they have that connection with God. So I would ask people that why they feel that way, and they would tell me that they get that connection through prayer, through reading their Bible, through their connection, through meditation, through constant contact and correspondence with God. And I say, okay, I can't, since I don't know that arena, I can't really denounce it. I can't really deny it. So I got to take that, and I can almost understand that. When Horace say things like, "Even the devil will bless you," I've heard that before too. But how do we know that? If our understanding of God and what He will bless and what He won't bless and what is a blessing from God, and what He thinks and what He likes and what He feels and what makes Him happy and what makes Him sad, because I've never understood what God would do with a human emotion. But you can get that from prayer, Bible, connection, meditation, all of those things. How can you get that same understanding for the devil? And how would you even know if not in retrospect? How would you know in real time? So I think it's a two-part question. How do you get the understanding of the devil? Because I think it would be the same way you get the understanding of God. And how would you know the difference between the blessings from a God and from a devil in real time, not in retrospect? Because we can always, when we go in retrospect, we can always change it. So that's my question.
Well, I think that's what's gonna make it hard, because you saying not in retrospect. Once you know better, you do better. Once you learn something, if you choose to keep doing something you know is wrong, then that's some severe ignorance. For me, I've learned that blessings is something that and Mario clean up because this probably be up his alley. But when I learned what I did, what I had, and all what I thought was a blessing took me so far away from my purpose and my gifts. So let me explain it to you like this. This person, because I'm gonna go third party. This person didn't know anything about life. All he wanted to do was be a Chris Leo. Like, he wanted to work, raise his kids. He was happy. I had a job. He had a job at the post office. He got injured, bro. Anybody tell you that dude went to work, had a new car, new baby. He living life. Got injured at the post office. The post office cut him off, treated him like crap. Man said he only got $200 left, right? He said, I just need something to get me through, the next 30 days because I got he got a brand new baby, he got a girl, he got bills, $200, right? So the interesting part about that was that same person who was just looking for an escape for those 30 days turned into 6 months, turned into a year. So he started, hey, damn, I'm making a little money. So for the next thing he do, life a little different. He feeling like he's successful. He feeling like, the pressure coming off him. He started buying clothes. He started eating a little better. He started dressing better, started buying cars. He started doing everything. Now his initial thing was just to get through them 30 days. I just want to self-preservation, take care of me, my family, and my kid. Before you know it, bro, 6 months and turned into a year, to 2 years, and 3 years. And you feeling so good. I got money in my pocket. I'm doing okay. I got enough money to throw a little wad to my friends, my mama. Listen, I ain't got no college degree, but man, okay, life ain't that bad. Then go the trap of it, bro. You going down that road, if that person ever get hit one time, you get arrested, now you got a felony. So now you stuck out there in them streets. You might get robbed and Joe could kill you for whatever you got, right? Messing around in the street, you get a little reckless because of your ego. You're messing with these dirty chicken heads. You might end up with a sexual disease. So, in retrospect, that person ended up he wasn't a stupid person. He was a person that did have some conviction, but that person ain't never think about no God. He started saying, oh, thank you, God, which is blasphemous because light don't entertain darkness. So, before you know it, boys, 5 years. 5 years then went by when I said, I'm only going to do this for 30 days. So the reality was the person that day never heard God's voice ever in his life. He just got on the block. He got a whole quarter pound of whatever. He driving. He hears something say, stop. And he keep hearing stop, to the point where it just driving him crazy. Like a person would jump out the car. So you don't hear God's voice, but when you hear it, you recognize it. That dude went to the next corner, gave everything he had to a jug on the corner to this day to do to testify that, and drove off. Phone ringing, people calling. Yeah, when that dude left the game, he walked away from that moment. When he left the game, his own friends called him crazy, told him he tripping by the chick. But when God called you, bro, that's when you know that other voice was somebody else. So to me, learning that after that person left, he thought about all the money that he had that he could have did some good stuff. He could have probably bought a house. He could have probably went back to school part-time. He could have did a lot of that. His mind was nowhere near there. And it took him losing everything again to come back to reality. So now, 5 years later, dude like, dang, I want to be a firefighter. I see some of my friends that got in their careers and whatnot. Man, bro, I just wasted 5 years and I don't know what I want to do with my life. So when I say a lot of our friends, I can understand when they got out there, and like I said, self-preservation is one thing, but once you get out there, bro, to come from nothing to have something, yeah, it feel like a blessing. But the more you bless, it's taking you down a road. But before you know it, you so far down that road till you look around and find out that road took you nowhere. Now you got to come all the way back to try to get where you need to go. So maybe I just took you in a whole nother direction, but that is something, bro. Once you know right and wrong, and you know that you've been tricked, bro, it's an awful thing, man. Because every dollar that dude made, he had to pay back. And people say that, but it's true. What's up, Chris?
Spoiler alert, dude is him. But,
dickhead.
But,
how did you get that?
I understand that. So what I'm getting from your story is the only way you can tell that is through retrospect. There's no way of telling it real time. There's no way to differentiate a God blessing from a devil blessing, you can only differentiate that in retrospect?
No, I think sometimes you know wrong, and I can only speak for myself. You ignore. You know when you shouldn't be doing something. Come on, everybody on this. Well, I can speak for everybody. You know when you probably shouldn't be doing something, but you wishing for the best income. You looking for grace. Like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but
I mean, yes, I understand that, but I just don't believe that. I've never been convinced that the devil has the ability to bless. I've never thought that the devil have powers rival to God. That's just my opinion.
Chris. So when people on the screen or people around without selling, hold on, 1 minute, say, doing wrong, you think that God grace may extend to your ignorance, keeping you, allowing you to live another day and see another day while you out here doing wrong, because he's giving you some grace to see if you're gonna get it right. But you think you out there doing everything that's against his gospel, his teaching, you think he's blessing that?
No, I personally wouldn't. I just
So who blessing?
I don't understand. No, I don't think that. I don't know to be able to tell that God gave you a blessing. I was told that it takes thorough reading the Bible, connection with God, prayer, meditation, all those things. I don't know how we can. That's how you can tell it. That's how you can tell a blessing from God. You was talking about a blessing from the devil. If that's the way, if that's the conduit in which you can know and recognize a blessing from God, then that got to be the same way of learning the devil. And how would you be able to tell?
Yeah, you losing me.
Two different people. Yeah, two different people. I'm gonna say this to you, Horace, because you made a point when you were saying, the voice talking to you and thing like that. And I think that is a question for a little later on. How do you even tell God's voice? Because I was actually faced with that question, and it stumped me for a while. But to speak on the question in which Chris had asked, you can tell. You ever wanted something so bad, Chris, and then when you got it, it was absolutely not the thing that you needed, or maybe even would have probably killed you? Yeah, it's probably a blessing from the devil, because it definitely wasn't God. Anything that God gives you is to prosper you, from my understanding. You understand what I'm saying? So I think Future had a song say, God blessing all the trap niggas. Well, surprise, surprise, it wasn't God. I'm sorry. You, like Horace said, you can't be doing wrong and think that God is blessing that. They tell you all the time that God don't bless no mess. You understand? So I can't understand how the two can be commingled. It just doesn't make any sense. However, when you're doing wrong, right, and you see guys that are very successful, right, you think that, they're successful at their craft at doing wrong. You think that's God that's blessing them? Because I don't.
I get what you're saying, but again, I do not know much about the Bible. I want to give a preference. I want to put that out there. But from what the little that I learned, there should be a story about a guy named Saul or Paul who was blessed as a bad guy. Was he not by God? That's how I think so.
I don't think he was blessed by God, because you got to remember he persecuted
God's.
There you go, because he was persecuting God's children, and they always let you know that you do not mess with who God has in his fold. So he's a shepherd. If you were a shepherd, you're not taking kindly to somebody messing with your sheep. So that's not what happened. What did happen, though, because we have a merciful God, and Saul ran into some shortcomings, we'll say. What happened is he ended up turning his life around, and for him turning his life around, then he started to receive God's blessing, but he had to work that off. How did he have to work that off? He didn't have to work that off. Once he started to receive the blessings, he started to tell about the blessings of the Lord and how he was so wrong, because he probably ran into what we're talking about. I thought that it was this way, and I thought that I was blessed this way. But hold on now. Now that the tide have changed, I really see what a true blessing is. And that's probably the story that you got. But again, I'm not the one for the biblical facts.
So Mario,
first of all, let me say I don't feel.
I mean,
you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah. So, I can't in one in 30 minutes tell a 9-year-old about astronomy. It just, no matter how I explain it to them, I'm not going to be in depth, be able to tell them the introspective workings of it. So I'm going to do my best because I'm not qualified to answer this question. So let me start by saying that I ain't qualified to answer this question. I don't want to debate it. I'm just going to tell you what I know so far of what the words that you're using. So when you say blessing, right? So when you just simply, just a simple gloss of what these words mean. Blessing means God's favor and protection. So when you ask me, because this is simple, I can look at this up in the dictionary. So this ain't had nothing to do with nobody told me and no Bible or nothing. This is just simple. What you look up, what does blessing mean? God's favor and protection. So when I look at biblical from what I've read, I understand that's exactly what it means, right? So I think a lot of times people use the word blessing instead of mercy. So what happens is this. They alluded to God is merciful. So sometimes everybody has free will. So you have the right to be doing wrong. Because you don't get caught doing wrong, or because you have spoils of your labor from doing wrong, that has nothing to do with God blessing you. That's just it's a cause and effect. The Bible can't lie. If you make a plan, put the plan in order, and work the plan, in Habakkuk 2, it say works has to come from that. It's so as planting the seed, watering the seed, and growing it. It's nothing biblical about planting flowers. But if you put a seed in the ground, you water it, the sun come out, what happens? A flower will grow most of the time. That's the same thing with anything. If you wake up early, if you get drugs, if you sell them to somebody, they're going to give you money. That has nothing to do with God. But a lot of times, people throw God in there because they have done something so long and obtained such wealth, which has nothing to do with God either. That's just people throwing it under. The worldly wealth has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with the blessings of God, because the only reason why God blesses you with wealth is to further his purpose for the kingdom of God. So it's not for you to, a house is not for you to have grand old house to say, I got this. It's to be a blessing to somebody else, because it's nothing that we obtain is not for us. It's to give out to other people or to be a blessing with somebody else, if it's truly from God, right? So you ask how God, and this is where a lot of people get confused, I think, with what Chris is asking. In Matthew 4:8-10, when God went up to the mountain, he was on a 40-day fast and he went up. And the devil came to him and said, if you deny God right now, you can look this up. That's why I wanted to tell you this. Matthew 4:8-10. He said, if you deny God, I'll give you everything in this world. Because that's where the devil powers lay, in this world. Now, somebody said that's a blessing. Because, Chris, I can give you $1 million. I can give you a house. I can do that for you because that's what I can give you. But I can't give you life. I can't give you happiness. I can't give you love. I can't give you peace. I can't give you stuff that what? Further God's purpose. So some people are going to say, I got a lot of money. That's a blessing. But if you look what blessing is, that has nothing to do with a blessing. So that's why I say when we use these words, we got to understand the catalyst of the word. Can you be prosperous? Yes. Because in the Bible, it said the devil comes not but to kill, steal, and destroy. And I think that's what Tootie was alluding to. That sometimes if your mind is set on material stuff, then you're going to think, what? God is blessed. The devil is blessing me. And I'm good. But then that blessing, having this car, this nice car, these jewels, and this money might be taking you farther away from God's purpose. So it's not a blessing. Because your whole point is to get back on his purpose. Because the purpose is what's going to get you to what we as believers believe is heaven. And the journey is walking in Christ, is trying to bring as many of our brothers as we can, if you're a Christian, to heaven. If you don't believe in Christianity, then you're not going to believe nobody can bless you. Because the whole blessing thing comes from the hereafter of your soul being saved in another land and understanding that everything we do is submitting to God. So that word blessing get thrown around a lot. Mercy get misused. And I think the understanding of what the devil's grace and what the devil can do for you and what he can give you, I think that is pointed out and explained in depth in the Bible in so many verses. But I think people use those words and shift that around in different meanings. That's what I think.
Okay, I'm gonna see what I gather from what you're saying. But what you're saying, by definition, the devil cannot bless you,
right?
Because by definition, a blessing is favor and protection by God,
right?
The devil has no control over that.
Right.
The devil, what he can do is give you material things. You're saying that he cannot give you love, peace, understanding. He can only give you physical things.
Right, tangible things.
The person, the receiver is the one that's misinformed about what a blessing is. Okay.
You know, like, so in the Bible it says this: God will bless you. God will give you everything but your heart's desire, right? You heard that before. People say that before, right? But see, that's one verse. Guess what happened 3 verses before that? It says, submit your heart to me. So people don't say that part. So the first thing he told you to do is what? Submit your heart to me and follow me. So then 2 verses later, he say, I will give you your heart's desire. Yeah, I will give you what your heart's desire because your heart is doing what? Following me. But see, when people throw these things out, that's why it's so dangerous about the Bible. That's why I say it's so, that's why I'm not a scholar like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not quite, but I understand that when people say one thing on the Bible and you haven't really read or got into it with people who are knowledgeable and prayed over verses and because the Bible does say read and study to show your own self-approved and get your own understanding. If you don't, then go to the high priest. All this stuff is there because we know in the last days there'll be false prophets and rumors and twisting of the word. That's why you cannot watch one part of a movie and say, hey, Chris, explain to me. And then most people do like with the Black Pimple. You didn't see it. Nobody's seen it. And then you'll see a thing and say, I think this movie is this. But can you really give a good understanding of a movie if you really have not seen it? But then how about this? If you haven't really talked to the director to see, or the writer, to see what he was really intending to mean that screen, to get real understanding, you need all them people in the room so you can know why was it created, what was put into it to be created, and what they wanted to get out of it. But I think a lot of times people read the Bible for different reasons at different times, and they listen to different people. But that's, to each his own. And I think what you're saying, you got the great understanding of what I think. I could be wrong, but I believe truly of what you just said when you said that's what you got from it. That's what I got from
it. Any more, Chris?
No, I just,
So listen, what oftentimes on the streets, I would hear people say that, and I'm thinking like, you just did the most dastardly thing. You think God, oh, God bless me. So God bless you and allowed you to F over this person. Like some of that stuff.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. Then I think with his story, he's telling you the telltale signs of what happened when people don't understand what a blessing is. I remember when you went back to Orlando and your heart, your thing you wanted to do was be a good father and provide for Kylie. Right?
Yeah.
So people will say, well, Chris, God blessed it, right? But then you got to say, why? That's what Chris wanted. How did that play into what God wanted for Kylie and Chris? See, that's what I'm saying. That's why a blessing is always tied to God's purpose, period. There's no shifting it, wanting it. His mercy might say, Chris put in the work. Chris did what? Departed himself, sacrificed, worked hard, and then from the fruits of his labor, he's seen what? Fruit. Now, some might say, well, that was a good gesture Chris wanted, so God had to give that. No, I don't say that. See, I stick to exactly what it say. It say is what? God's purpose and protection. That's what a blessing is. But a lot of times when we get emotional, and a lot of old pastors and preachers, because they did that, and they took it from what they wanted to, and they preached their sermons wrong for so long. And then it got passed down like old folk tales. Me, my mama, my aunties, my daddy, my wife can tell you, we have these discussions and like to say debates all the time. Because I don't care who you is in this world. If you can't show it to me in the Bible and I can't read it and pray on it and get that understanding, I don't care what you say. It's nowhere in the Bible that say that, because Chris know the book back and forth 20,000 times, that his word is the way God wanted for me. The Bible specifically say study for yourself. So how could you tell me how it's supposed to go? So that's what I'm saying. So I don't care if TD Jakes himself come to me and say, hey, brother, this mean that. Thank you, brother. Now let me go read it, pray, meditate, and get my own understanding from it. But that's why I think when people sometimes, that's why I think it's so dangerous to listen to people. Really, all I'm supposed to do is guide you to it. And then you get your own understanding. That's why I told you the Bible verse. Because you might read that, Chris, and say, Well, I got this from it, brother. And if that give you peace in your heart, and that's the way God wants you to go, then you go with it. It ain't it is nowhere in the Bible. And I want somebody to tell me where it say one person know the way. This is how it's supposed to go. It's nowhere.
Well, let me clarify for you, Chris. Expound on it. What we deem as a blessing.
Right. And that's why I understand what you're saying. But I'm glad you said that. That's why I said quiet, because I believe the way Tootie said that is the way Chris have heard it, because I have heard it that way all my life. All my life, exactly that way. Oh, the devil blesses you too. Well, where does it say that?
That's what I'm saying. And I don't know.
Where does it say that? It doesn't say that nowhere.
How do you know? How can you? The only way to get that connection with
where does it say that at? The book was left to be our confidant and our roadmap. Where does it say that at? Point me to the verse. It says that, and let me read it. Because even if you think the verse say that, I'm telling you, a lot of times they get upset when they said, God said, the devil said, if you turn your back on God, defile him, and bow to me, I will give you everything in this world. Well, we already know. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? So gaining the world to God is not a blessing.
I think, but Chris trying to take it somewhere else. So that's what my issue is. Like when you hear what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So you're like, oh, well, bro.
I know what you said.
When you doing fuckery, God is not in that.
And I understand what you're saying, Tootie, but I think that
I know I want like Chris. Chris will take something and he tries to take
people do.
The word.
A lot of people
yes,
do.
I do take the word.
I'm big on words.
Chris comes and say, "Oh, I'm not a Christian. I'm really not into the Bible," and then you will take something somewhere else, and I think that's dangerous.
I think that's sanction, though. I think that's what Kyrie doing, right? I put like this. I remember what you just said. I remember my grandma told me that. Don't question this. Don't question that. I said, well, grandma, the Bible said question all the time.
I'm not saying don't question it.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't say. I said my grandma said all the time, because the older people in church where I grew up would always get on me about in Bible study. Hey, so why did I don't think they'll say that? I don't think this.
But that's what they do.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But the Bible say, I'm telling you, this is what the Bible say. Now, see, that's why I can't tell what nobody else say. It say to do that all the time. So who I'm gonna listen to?
I used to get that same shit in Bible study. I used to get the same shit after church. They do the same shit to me. They say these questions. They use these words. I examine their question with their words, and then all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy.
Right, and I got that all my life. And know what it do? It pushes you away, because the Bible speaks in almost every other chapter about studying and gaining understanding. It say in all things, get an understanding. So it say that. Look at the word understanding, how many times it's used in the Bible. You know why? God wants you to be clear. He wants you to get attached to him and be clear. So if you don't have no problem, bro, I want you to ask me. Chris called me about a lot and asked me these questions all the time. Sometimes I don't have the answer. Sometimes I tell him, bro, I just don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to never lead you. But I want you to ask me, because sometimes he asks me a question, I'll be like, damn, I never thought about it like that. So let me go read again. Because, bro, it don't say that. Like, a lot of times I used to think that, like, these verses all my life, I put my stake in the ground on. And I said, and then when I really got older and started reading, bro, he wasn't even talking. He was talking to a certain people. Like when Paul was writing letters to the church when he was locked up, he was talking to them. He wasn't even talking to you. You see what I'm saying? But when you don't really understand the Bible and all that kind of stuff like that, then they get dangerous, because people can use the Bible just like manipulation. They can make it use you to feel bad to do what they want. They can make you feel condemned to do what they want. They can make you feel happy about doing what they want you to do. Like when they say, or like it's nothing to say if you come to church, if you don't come to church on time, that God not gonna bless you. That doesn't nothing to say. It's nothing to, like, you see what I'm saying? Like all these rules. That's the rule, but they do say abide by the rules of the land. So if you want to put that under that category, cool, but don't just make a book. And that's all I'm saying. I would tell you this, Chris, all the time. It's good to have an understanding. And it's good to want it. But I think the best thing you should do too is a lot of times is like read, meditate, and then get in good company. And you're gonna get a lot of bad advice. But one thing I learned is when I really started saying, God, I want to really know you, DeMario, want to really know you, guess what happened, bro? People start getting around me and start breaking down the Bible so I can understand it. So then he'll like, I ain't telling you to say this, but this is what I got from it, bro. Won't you read this verse? And after that, read this verse and this verse. And then tell me what you got when you come back to me. See, that's teaching, bro. Not, nah, you know, that. No, that's not God, bro, because God in every verse. So God so loved the world. So God love. Love is the thing. Love. And what love comes with? Patience, understanding, and compassion.
All right. Well, Mario, listen, we got, let's say we're at the end of the show. This is another one of Chris' questions. How do you put God first? But I'm going to ask Xavier first.
I think that's really simple. You just do it like Nike. I mean, at the end of the day, he is the reason you're here, right? Why wouldn't I? It's a very simple task. I think that is definitely one of them things in which you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Just do it like how you walk, one step after the other, and you'll start to see. Go ahead.
That was informative.
Let me get mine out.
Mario.
I don't, Chris.
I tried to keep it in layman's terms for you.
I don't, Chris, and I'm trying daily to do, because in actuality, to put God first means you will consult him before you do anything. So I can't tell you sit here and say I do. I'm telling you, I'm really trying, and I've been working on it. Like I try to pray before I make any big decision. I sleep on big decisions. I kind of consult, but on everything I don't, because to truly put God first means that's the beginning. So before you do anything, I have to go to God. So I'm trying, but I don't do it in entirely like I should. I say it like that.
Just do it.
Right. And that's what I gotta do. I gotta be able to do that. But I'm telling you, as a man, I ain't got that yet. And I'm wanting to, because I believe if I was to listen to God and put him first, then the distractions of the world wouldn't have appeasement, because, like the people who put God first, that's a whole different level of. I'm just as blind as you, Chris, in some points. I don't have no understanding in some points. So sometimes I lean on to mine. And I don't lean to God. I say, Mario, you can figure this out. So anytime I put Mario before God, that's not leaning, you know what I'm saying? That's not going first. And I ain't that in depth into the word where I could just say, I'm blindly, it don't make no sense to me at all. I ain't did no calculations. God said it, I'm going. I want that faith, Chris, but I ain't got that yet.
All right, Chris Leo, how you put God first?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking y'all.
Y'all asked the question.
Y'all are my spiritual teammates. I look for y'all. Y'all know
I'm gonna say this. I think you need some better coaches.
I love these guys. I love my coaches. But I started going to church as an adult. When I started going to your mother's church. That's when I started to get more of a, just try. Just try. Well, I'm lying. I went to jail, and you know how niggas get in jail. They want to get closer to God. They try to get out of it. Yeah, so I did that, and then I got out and needed a job. Came home, needed a job, and you know how you niggas do. They pray till they get what they want, and then all of a sudden they fall off. But I was going to church, I was going to Bible study, and I kept on running into these situations because this is just how my mind thinks. If you say something to me, I analyze the words that you use, how you use them, and I dissect from there. And I used to get into these same problems. I used to get into problems in Bible study. I used to get into these problems after church. I mean, thank God, Doris Bubba loved me, and she don't hold it against me. But boy,
I'll tell you this, Chris, before Tutti go.
She love you with the love of the Lord.
The biggest blessing I ever had when I went to a men's ministry, when I seen like men who was like 75, right, who had been studying the Bible all their life, right. Then I seen young pastors, 22, who just knew the Bible. Then I seen 40-year-old pastors, 30 deacons, and all that. And we were sitting in the room with no judgment. And when it was free, like it was no off-limit questions. People say that, but you know how you had that undertone, like, nigga, don't be asking me that. It was none of that. It was like truly, like, let's go into the Bible. Like, let's ask this. And I met a brother who like knew the Bible back and forth. He knew it in Hebrew. It's like, I'm talking about just, he knows everything. Like, he can tell you exactly when Saul became Paul and what verse, at what day, what year, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. But then I heard an older dude who was like breaking it down, and me seeing them two people break down, that's when I learned you have to get your own understanding. So all these questions you asking, Shelley said it best. Jesus said, I am the way, not Mario, not say, not two, but him. And I believe if you got questions, he gonna answer them for him. He gonna send people to answer them for you to help you. It's gonna feel good. Like the answer gonna make like I understand it. To me, that's how I feel.
Yeah. And the thing, like with you, Chris, what I was trying to tell you, you know, just on to keep it on the cool, you asked the question. I think we overcomplicate things. So Mario is right. We fail every day. We fall short. But I know how you think. So the best way to give it to you is to just do it. Try it. You understand what I'm saying? And after that, do it again. And do it again. And do it again. All the way until you start again and understanding. But you do got to do what he say, which is study to show thine own self-approved. But how do you put God first? Is you just do it. Go from there.
Well, Chris, I'll keep it simple. I will keep it simple, Chris. I think I just try to be more intentional. And like I said, man, ignorance is a mofo. And I don't think we really examine that word enough. Ignorance. It's like the part where it says, as a child, I did X, Y, Z. I grow older. It's just to a point where, bro, I've seen too much and learned too much, and I know so much that there shouldn't be a reason for me to still be conducting myself the way I was before. When I know me reacting this way is going to lead to this, you know what I mean? And that decision is going to have a what's the word, you know, reflect another decision, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just more, so how do I put God first? Do I pray enough? No, I don't. And that's probably the worst thing, because when I do, doors open up. So that's something I have to work on. So God first, just being intentional, trying to improve on that. Trying to improve myself is how I put God first, just the effort. Like I say, bro, each one of us got a cross to bear, just trying to be better every day, man. When I'm handling situations, old me, ego. You know, if I get disrespected, I'm going to act out and handle it, and it's not going to do anything. I'm going to get somebody disrespect me, we fight, blah, blah, blah. Now I got a bigger situation. So just to your point, I learned the consequences, and I learned, and I never do this again. I learned when you ask God to help you, because with disrespect, with respect, situation. I don't understand our God, but respect, situations appear where people disrespect you. It is like you get tested. So I learned not to take certain things to God. When I went to him about certain issues, like, I ain't gonna give you all the issues, but most of the time, bro, it's a test. And through them tests, you kind of get your prayer answered. So, you know, it's interesting how things go, but I definitely say everything that I went through has made me better. So in hindsight, I can look at some of the worst times I ever had, and that same stuff I went through that was so awful has allowed me to step in and be a blessing to somebody else by saying, hey, bro, I went through it. Learn from my mistakes, see this a little differently, kind of being the person I wish I had in my life, you know what I mean? So me putting God first, simply just me trying to be more intentional and better.
That's good.
We know a lot of people that know better and choose not to do it.
That's good. I think what Shelley said is the best thing at the end of the segment. Bro, God, Jesus knows we can't be perfect. His own son was tested when he was here. He sent him. If you're a Christian, you believe that walk. But all you gotta do is start. It's a relationship, but a relationship it takes getting to know, time spent, understanding. But in a relationship, you're gonna fall out sometimes. You're gonna disagree sometimes.
That's another statement that I questioned that Shelley just put up. Like, that's not what he's asked for. He asked for total devotion and belief in him.
That's true.
Not just a relationship. That's not just the minimum, the bare minimum. He don't want the bare minimum. It's clear what he wants.
Well, I think God is asking for that. Jesus is asking for a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. You can't, like, no matter what. It's like right now, if I'm telling you about stuff that you have, like, you don't even know, like, what, like, from the beginning of what it is, of how It's just like we could keep going down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you can't even know if you don't know like 1 + 1, there's no way I can explain to you geometry, because I have to keep going back to 1 + 1 every single problem to go back to that from the beginning, understanding who is what, how do they play out, why do they call him that, why do he expect that, this is what he expect that. It's like so much stuff that you can say, okay, now I see what you're saying. Because you're right. Like it's a lot of times people get that confused of if you're a Christian. That's one thing I'm gonna keep saying. If you're a Christian, this is what I believe. Other religions might believe other stuff, and they might have different places and call people different stuff and put people on different limitations. That's what they believe. I'm just talking about Christianity.
Yeah, and I can agree. I say I can't argue that, because you're telling me the way that you understand God, and the conduit in which you use to understand God.
Right.
My opening question is, how do you get that understanding with the devil? To know his inner workings, what he would bless, what he likes, what
the Bible tell you what's his limitations. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know the inner workings of the devil, but the Bible speaks of him too, because it wants you to be informed of your enemy, because that's what the Bible refers to him as, the enemy. So just like any army that we're going, because we're the army of God, and he's the enemy. So it's going to prepare you for your enemy. In every book, they tell you the 48 hours of law and all that. So hey,
why would he punish us for disobeying God when he was the one that disobeyed God? Wouldn't that make us somebody that he would favor?
Why would he be a hater?
Huh?
Who are you talking about?
I'm saying that the devil disobeyed God. I don't understand why he would punish us for disobeying God when that would be what he would want.
Who?
The devil, correct?
He like that. Who said he punished you for that?
Well, he sent you to hell. Hell is the punishment for disobeying God.
No, but he's not sending you there. He's telling you to come with him. Misery loves company. He's the nigga. He's a hater.
You sending your choices are sending you there.
That's the first hater to say I'm broke and I have to be broke for the rest of my life. So I want all you niggas to be broke with me. I don't want to see none of you other niggas get rich.
So he's not the one putting you in hell.
He's not.
He's not putting you in the fiery pit, I should say. He's not the one that's doing the punishment.
You are.
He can't. The devil has no power to put you in heaven or hell. He don't have that power. All he can do is tempt you, because you have free will, and then you choose to follow him or follow God.
Get your choices.
See, that's the thing. The devil can't put you in hell. He just wants you to come with him. So he gonna try to entice you into following him instead of following God. And then you choose to follow whoever you want. And then that's where you end up at. And every time you choose him, he happy, because now he get more company. He just a hater. You got to understand that. So if a nigga down, and he know he's going to be down for the rest of his life, when you look at it like that, Chris, why would the hell you ever listen to him? Anything he give you is to set you up. To do what? Come down. Wow. That's like a nigga from jail calling you saying, I got a pack from you. Nigga, you want me in there with you?
Wait a minute.
That's dope.
That's like the dude that's on powder who can't get off. Yeah. Giving you some or finding a way for you to get strung out with him.
See, if people don't understand, like, who you get your shit from? The nigga who got life in jail? Why would you be trusting him? That nigga want you in. So you might ball for a little while, but his ultimate goal is what? He don't want to be in that bitch by himself. He want to fill this bitch up and have a hot boy party.
See, I was under the impression that he's the one doing the punishment. And I don't understand why he would punish somebody that's disobeying God when that's what he did and that's what he wants.
Yeah, no. He don't have no. All he could do is go to and fro. All he could do is kill, steal, and destroy. And that means kill your joy, like your inhibitions and stuff like that. So when they're saying that, he just trying to take you off of God's purpose. Whatever God got for Chris, he want to take you as far away from that until you die, until your date. And then when you come up short, bitch, you end up there with him.
Yes. Listen, with us closing out from Bible study tonight, I want to say that we offered an invitation to a few notables, Black Super Friend alumni, who, said they was not in visual shape to appear. Someone else, Pastor Jarrell Wright, told me he was in the middle of something. I don't know. So listen, no, I know that ain't. Well, I don't even know what you're doing. But listen, so no,
we have this conversation.
Well, we left it out there for the people to show up, and they didn't.
And I think them people should call. I think you should just like, cause I told you, listen, I'm the low hanging fruit, bitch. So I'm the last person to listen to. You got Jamie, Papa, like go call them people, seek higher counsel. Yep. I'm the low counsel.
Chris, I'll produce that show for you, my guy. Just set it up.
I can always learn too.
But I'm not here to be. I don't want to be attacked. I have questions. I have questions that I have. I don't know.
Everybody coming on know what they're gonna get.
If somebody gonna attack me, then we got to go back and forth. Then
you can't you can't walk in there and say what's up with the Lord, and then just go show up, and you be like, no. So no, go on in there and have that conversation, my man. You won't smoke, so get it.
I think this too. If it's not, if people having a conversation about God is not led with love, I think you should walk out immediately.
And none of those characters that we just
I'm telling you, it's nowhere. If it's not out of love, now don't mean that you ain't gonna like everything they hear, but I'm saying if you genuinely feel like they're attacking you, then that's not of God. God is not the author of confusion. I think you should walk out right there.
Yeah.
Because that means somebody might be an anointed person, but they might be talking out of themselves instead of him. You should leave right there.
All right, man. Closing out.
Well, okay.
Zay, before you go down the black hole.
Buffering.
Yeah, buffering zone. Hey, I'll go to Chris first.
Man, I appreciate you guys always being there for me when I have these questions. A lot of people tend to, just shun me when I have certain questions like this. So I'm glad you guys I'm glad I can chop it up with you guys about this openly, and also the people that tune in, man. Something that I've always, I don't want to say struggle, but I've always had a unique relationship with. So I appreciate you guys letting me open up about that tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Buy a mug.
You're definitely welcome for, this, conversation, Super Mario.
I appreciate you having it. I think it's needed, and I think that's of God. Like it's no secret that this was on your heart and you brought it here, because people gonna play this back and get blessed. So when I be saying purpose, that's what I be meaning. I believe like this question was on your heart and you had to ask it, because we come up with our own topics. And this conversation, good, bad, or indifferent, was meant to be had on this show. And I appreciate you for having the courage to always ask those questions, because a lot of people just sit there in their mind of mystery and don't seek understanding. So, bro, that what you're doing is what God exactly wants you to do. Keep seeking understanding, because you're the person who's gonna find it. So I say keep doing that, and I appreciate, like you said, all of us brothers. So anyway, we can enlighten each other. We always gonna do this, because y'all have been doing it. So thank y'all, especially Shelly. We love you. Thank you for everything you do for us. All our posts and everything you do. Go buy a mug. My wife loves her mug. I must say, she's been drinking tea every night out of her mug, especially because it has her name on it. So she just loves that. It's an amazing mug, man. Go make sure y'all go buy that, man.
Listen, I want to thank myself tonight for
this is it's all it's him. It's him. I want to thank myself tonight.
I want to thank myself tonight for going down this rabbit hole with Chris Leo. Because I knew, so when certain topics come, I say, oh man, here we go. But the challenge is being courageous enough to say, hey, I don't understand this, or I don't know, or let's chop it up. So like Mario said, tomorrow, it's amazing how many people will reach out and be like, oh, well, y'all boys, I like that. I had that question too. So that's always the purpose.
Or Mario was dead wrong. And then this is what it really means. Then I learned.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Shit, I don't know.
Men are talking again. So I don't even know if I want to do this.
Zay,
final comment, Zay.
Come on, Zay. Give us the final comment. Get back here now. You got Bell South.
Yes, they are.
Hey man, come on, let's close the comment. We're trying to close the goddamn show out, man.
Well, the show is busy.
Yeah.
Hey, Deacon Horace, calm down.
Goddamn, Houdini. Speak your word. Let's go, man. We're coming in this door, out that door.
Nintendo 64.
This man got that doing the show on the Wii. Hey, we are out. We will see y'all next week. Same back channel.
Don't even go let him finish.